Okay, we got a lot of work to do. I'm going to go through my punch list first, and this is not being taped. In case you guys haven't noticed, you are going to be taped all week long. So if you're here with somebody you're not supposed to be with, we should know. We'll try to avoid you with the camera. It was then. And what Bill did that most people will not do is that he actually saw opportunity and took advantage of that opportunity. I can't tell you how many times I've given people that same opportunity at zero charge, and of course they find something more important. Can't tell you how many cab drivers I've asked to come to a seminar and gave them a slip to get in. Not one ever showed up. Can't tell you how many people out there in the job market, all kinds of jobs, people who do my hair, people who do anything and everything for me, provide any kind of service. I invite them all in to see if they have enough grit and gumption to come do something instead of just whining about their position. None of them ever show up. Well, I didn't invite Bill. Bill came down on his own. And maybe that's why he actually took advantage of it, because he wasn't given a gift. I can tell you from experience that if there's no commitment involved, then nothing is going to happen. I've got some information that I want to go through here first on the board, and then we're going to get to work in the manual and start figuring out how to make a ton of money in this crappy economy. You've just been informed on the economic issues. We did not make those economic issues up. Those are the times we're in. Those are all quotes that came from some publication. This is not in your book, incidentally, so no sense in turning there yet. The enemy is here. The enemy is not our economy. The enemy is us. And sometime in our life we have to turn and face the tiger. We're responsible for our own destination, and there's nobody going to do it for us. And frankly, I find it very easy to teach people real estate. It's really not that hard to figure out how to buy and sell houses. In fact, it's a lot easier than most professions. It takes a fraction of the time it takes to be a chiropractor or a dentist or a doctor. Certainly a lot less than being a surgeon or an airline pilot. It's not hard at all to comprehend or implement. What's hard is to get people to leave the baggage that they came to the table with behind, years of negative programming, and get that out of the way so that we can input the right stuff into them. The right stuff meaning you can and are worthy of making money, and now let's put some steps in place to get that going. We have way more trouble with that than we do teaching people how to do real estate. I'm going to give you all the reasons that you're going to fail. So you can go ahead and write them down, and we can get them out of the way. We're going to deal with them up front. There's 7 of them. There's 7 main reasons that I've targeted that people do not use the information. By the way, are we all adults here? Yes? Are we all in this room assuming that everybody who leaves this room is going to be highly successful? That would be kind of naive, wouldn't it? If I take a segment of any population and put them in any room to do anything, that entire class is not going to do what they were taught. You see, there is teaching, and then there is learning, and then there's implement. There's 4 steps of learning. First is ignorance. Okay, you guys are past that step. Ignorance is no longer applicable. And then there's ignorance. I'm trying to think of the second step. I lost it. The third step is implementation. The second step is learning. The third step is implementation. And the fourth step is automation. You're in the second step now. When you leave here, you're going to get into the third step, which is implementation. Automation is not something you just turn a switch on and automatically you get it. It's something that you have to put in place so that you don't have to keep working as hard as you used to work. This 5 days is going to be about teaching you the basics and then telling you what you need to implement and then showing you how to automate it. When you get it automated, you can be a Bill Duquette. When you get it to the point to where it doesn't require your time every day or even every week, when you get it to the point to where it'll run without you, now you're free to do all the other things that you want to do with a massive income coming in, just like Bill and countless thousands have done out there in the real world. But first, we got to clean out the cobwebs up here so that we can get you out of the way and make it work. These are the reasons why, if it doesn't work, one of them or more of them are going to apply to you. As I go through these, see which ones you think are your biggest enemies right now. I'm not sure it'll work for me where I live in these chaotic times. Does anybody in the room live where there are no houses? If there are no houses where you live, it won't work there. The best thing you can do is move. If there are houses there are people who need to sell them and others who need to buy them. And you're not going to change that, and neither is Obama. The economy's not going to change that. People are always going to need a place to live. And as long as that's the case, you might as well get used to the fact that people are going to be buying and selling. And nothing out there is going to stop them. When I started in 1982, the prime rate was 16% interest. You're talking about trying to sell a house? And realtors were giving away their licenses, as they're doing now. Because it was a tough time. And I still bought and sold 23 houses in my first 6 months, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Not a clue. 35-year-old clueless. Had no idea. I just knew that I was having fun, I was excited, and I was in control. And that, for the first time in my life, was the case. And I was on fire. And they probably told me that it didn't work there, but I wasn't listening. I just went out and did it. It's called hunger and greed. Two pretty important ingredients. It won't work there if you say it won't work. If you'll let it work, it'll work very well. People always need to buy and sell houses. Second reason, I'm not convinced it can be done without money or credit. Okay? How many of you will confess that you're just not quite sure this is going to work without your money or credit? Let me see. Okay, you got to level with me now. You got to tell me the truth. You just can't get it in your head how you can do this without money yet, right? Or credit. How can I do this? Everybody I know went down and borrowed money from a bank, put up a down payment, qualified for a loan. That's how you buy real estate. That's how they've been buying it ever since I've been alive. That's how my parents bought it. That's how I bought my home. What's the deal? Well, which ones are in trouble right now? All those who went down to the bank and borrowed money and qualified for a loan and are now owed more on it than it's worth. If you do that, you can suffer the same pain. If you listen to me, you'll never be in that position because you're never going to personally guarantee debt. And the worst that can happen to you, Ron's way, is you lose the equity that you got for free. That's the worst that can happen to you if you will listen. Will you listen? Yeah, then you'll still do it your way. You will be convinced over the next 5 days that you can buy houses without money or credit. Because we're not going to just tell you, we're going to show you and prove it to you. Just because it's not working for you now doesn't mean that it won't. Your past does not dictate your future. All the mess you left behind, I don't care. I don't even want to hear about it. Because it has nothing to do with where you're going. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. How many of you believe in God? How many of you have ever seen God? How do you know He's there? But you believe in Him anyway, don't you? Well, you're going to start believing before you leave here if you don't now, and the only thing that's going to get you to believing is that you can see the light at the other end of the tunnel. If you can't see how you're going to do it where you live, then you won't do it, will you? Well, that's our job, and we're pretty good at our job. I'm not sure what to do first and what to do after that. I understand. That's why you're here. And that's our job, to make sure that you systematically know what to do first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And in fact, that's what we're going to do this whole time. Success is a process. You don't wake up one day and say, holy moly, I'm successful today. I sucked yesterday, but today I'm good. It don't work that way. It didn't work that way for Bill. It didn't work that way for me. I don't know anybody that it works that way. Even lotto winners, just because they win the lotto don't mean they're successful. It just means they got more money than they had yesterday. Success is a process. It's a series of steps that we have to implement one at a time until we can look back and can't believe how far we come and how proud we are of ourselves.